So when it comes to personal development, charisma, any type of traits, any type of way of being that you want to adopt, people always think that it's about adding things on top. It's about getting more skills, acquiring more strategies. In reality, it's subtractive. It's not about a 10-step grandiose master plan. It's not about what to say when, how to approach someone, or how to place your feet, which there are entire videos on. It's not about going to Toastmaster events. All of these things can help, but they are kind of the icing on the cake. And people try to use these things to wiggle their way through to what they want to get, rather than fixing it from the bottom up. And when you fix it from the bottom up, that is when real transformation, but also real results start to occur. When you think of a baby is pretty magnetic, no? A baby comes into the room and takes up all of the energy of the room. And a baby doesn't need to do anything. It just needs to exist and be present. In the same way, many of us have unlearned this, but we can relearn it, just not in the ways that most people go about it. So what is the root cause? I'd say the root cause is the fears and insecurities that we have built up that are putting up barriers between us and our natural charismatic self. This is why people are so reliant on alcohol in social settings, especially in new settings, or when they go out, when they meet new people. Because the alcohol takes away the inhibitions, it takes away the fear, it takes away the insecurities. Obviously, this is not a particularly healthy mechanism. So we want to find a way to fix that without having to rely on some external stimulant and without having to follow 10,000 different strategies to get to that point. So I'll tell you the fix right here. While most people will be wasting all of their time on dumb tactics and strategies and how to do things, trying to stack enough evidence to convince themselves into them being charismatic so that they can then be charismatic, what we are going to do is start from the opposite end of the spectrum. And we use our being from which all else flows, so that we do not have to learn any strategies, any tactics, and we can authentically be it. So just be charismatic. And this might sound stupid if this is the first time you've heard something like this, but really, be charismatic. What is stopping you from being charismatic outside of yourself? Literally you. There is nothing else. And so the big crutch with this is that people who are working on this, they will say, I am working on being charismatic. When you say, I am working on being charismatic, you are putting out the energy that you are not charismatic. And therefore you aren't. To really make change, we have to already assume the identity of what we want to be, how we want to be in the future. So not, I am working on being more confident, I'm working on being more charismatic. I am confident, I am charismatic. And you just repeat that again and again until it becomes true. Now, obviously, just saying these things to yourself, it's going to help, but it's not going to be as fast as it could be. So when you have this kind of baseline of you assume the identity, now we just have to pair it with the actual actions. And that doesn't mean study charisma. Real, naturally charismatic people do not study charisma. They just are charismatic. which means that for us to naturally be charismatic, we take on the identity, we say we are this, and then we take the most basic action steps to get to that point. And so that doesn't mean, like I said, tactics, strategies, reading books, whatever. It means assuming the identity and then taking the action. What does a naturally charismatic person do? What is the goal of being charismatic? It means expanding your network, meeting more people, I don't know, dating perhaps. And so the most basic action form is let's approach strangers. And when you pair these two things, you take the action of someone who has the identity of a charismatic person, and meanwhile you state to yourself that you are a charismatic person. This is how you shift very fast. Because now you take the actions of someone that is charismatic and you tell yourself that you are. And as long as you keep practicing it, you'll start to see evidence of it and you'll start to shift extremely fast. Now, to really make this impactful, I want to give you two more kind of side notes, things that you can use with this that will really supercharge it. First thing is, do not be outcome dependent. When you approach anyone, doesn't really matter, whatever situation it might be, but do not be dependent on the end goal that you're looking for with whatever process you are doing. So in the case of approaching someone, if you are approaching a guy that looks interesting, a girl that you think is pretty, or if you're a girl, opposite way, then do not try to attach any meaning to what you got from the conversation, because then the entire identity gets distorted again. Because you become, right, if you didn't get the outcome of, I don't know, exchanging Instagrams, exchanging phone numbers, then you'll feel like a failure. So instead we want to be process oriented. We want to purely validate ourselves through the habit, through the action. We want to validate ourselves of, we made the approach, and anything that comes after that totally does not matter. Second thing, I forgot the second thing. So if you feel anxious in a social setting, is that good or is that bad? I used to think that it's bad, and one of my mentors, he told me that this is good, it's completely normal. So I want you to think about it in the same way. It's the very, very fact that you are feeling nervous about this is amazing, because it means that you care. It means that you are putting yourself in a situation for growth. It means that you're doing something that is worthwhile. You're doing something that is making you feel alive. It's making you feel excited. And if you can shift things in this way, if you can look at any opportunity that you take as a success, and any negative feedback as something that just was meant to be, or something that is, or any anxiety, right, that is exciting. If you can reframe every single thing in your life like that, and you assume the identity, not I'm working on it, I am this now, and you align your actions with that way of being, that is how you shift into the person that you need to be extremely fast. So, a bit of a rant, I think, but I hope this is helpful. And let me know if you have any questions. And I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to get more ideas on how to network with high-level people, dating basics, charisma basics, all of these things can be found in the Skool community as well. But yeah, that would be it. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.